Hello guys, it is me, Nean again, and I am bringing you the second PvP, and I'm going to be, well, up in the top right hand corner on, I can never remember the names of the ladder maps, it's weird. I think it's Cloud Kingdom, but I'm not sure, is going to be Supernova in the top corner, and in the bottom corner is going to be me. Protoss versus Protoss. I was off to a bit of a shaky start. I didn't split my drones optimally and forgot I had them selected, so my opening went a tiny bit to pot, so he'll be ahead of me in the work account to start with. He's going for 9 pylon, and I will be going for 9 pylon up here straight away. And one of the advantages of this game is that it's I think he ended up 4-gating. I didn't see his eventual end of game build. But I think from what my observer scouted out earlier, it was a 4-gate, so this could be potentially a decent 4-gate defense. So there's the first gate at 12, and I'm going to be making my first gate momentarily, I think. There we go. A bit delayed on that. Not sure quite why. I think I was trying to get a couple more drones out. But 13 gas for him, and I go for gas on 14 supply, which is how I usually do it. I usually remember 9 pylon, 12 gateway, 14 assimilator. And if we go to production, there we go. Yeah, my assimilator just started, his has just finished. And we're roughly the same way through our gateway. He is maybe 10 seconds ahead of me. But I always like to cluster my buildings up around the ramp, which is fairly inadvisable if you're playing Zerg, especially if they try a bailing bus, which is why I always put cannons at the top of the ramp. But people put them there and it's fine. I tend to sort of use them as a wall-in delay, quite often if it's a mass bio. Which it can be in Protoss or Terran or Zerg. Well, it can be in any matchup, but they have to get filtered through, which takes time. It creates yet another choke. Well, it chokes the choke, and yet another pylon. Both of us getting cybers. My zealot actually pops out before his. As soon as my gateway finishes, I always like to get a zealot because then I'm ready in case he tries to go for really ultra early aggression and drone rushes me. Yeah, he's got the second gateway on the way and warp gate as well, and I've got yet my second pylon on the way. I believe that is. Yes, that's pylon number 2. So I keep supply blocking myself in this game. I'm not very good with the supply blocking situation, but get warp gate and I actually cancel the zealot and get a stalker instead, just so that I can have my zealot if he tries to zealot rush me, I can have the zealot there, and then have the stalker there to back up the zealot. He goes for stalker as well, so pretty much mirror builds at the moment. However, he's got the third gateway straight away. I'm only just starting the third gateway, so I'm lagging behind pretty much all the time at the moment, which is not too much to be disappointed about. But there he gets his 4th gate, which is what makes me think that he's going to, well, which is now proving my theory correct, that he's 4-gating early. And then there was a tiny bit of lag. I think it was on his end, but I could always be mistaken. It's a tiny bit annoying at times if there's lag, but it's not as if it's life or death in Bronze League. However, I have lost 1 or 2 games from bad lag, which is bad graphics lag. And his warp gate research finishes up, and that's 3 out of 4 gates. And 4th gate finishes up, and that should probably flip. Yeah, there we go. It flips into warp gate, and here comes the robo. I have actually started my robo before him, but I'm only on 3 gates, and I've supply blocked myself yet again. I seem to be somewhat of an expert at supply blocking in this game, but I move my stalker and zealot up to the Zelnaga towers to check that he's not sort of got anything there. and I complete my robo. And I've actually got 3 zealots queued up, but none of them are starting because I am so pro at supply blocking myself. But now we've got all 3 not warp gates, gateways going, and that will provide me with quite a bit. He pokes out with his stalkers and a probe, and no, I don't want destructible rocks. And I actually managed to kill off his probe. We'll just go to units tab. He's actually now behind in probes because I killed off his one, and however he's ahead in army. So if we look at supply, if we look at minerals, I'm actually ahead, and army supply we're even now because I have the same number of units as him. However, he has more stalkers and I have more zealots. So if we go back down to my base, we'll see drones, and also warping in a couple of sentries to deal with any sort of charge or anything, and get an immortal out because I know he's got stalkers, and immortals, I think they 3-shot stalkers. They'll probably effectively 2-shot with this army here, and he begins to move across the map with 4 stalkers and probe carrying gas. I always try and make sure that probes drop off gas or minerals beforehand, and I'm just letting my immortal languish at the top of the ramp so that if he does attack, it's a tiny bit of a surprise. And get a warp prism out because warp prism harass is effective. Getting a forge as well, simply because upgrades are key. So warp prism's out. I will eventually send it out, but not at the moment, I don't think. I know it's going out. Just to join my... Yeah, oh yeah, this is the bit where I send it all the way around the back. Just so that I can avoid his Zelnaga towers or pylons. Which is pretty lucky, because if I went straight across the map, it would have got taken out pretty much instantaneously. Getting another immortal out if I don't keep supply blocking myself. That's the 3rd or 4th time this game. So, viewers at home, you can keep score yourself. Anyway, I shall start getting upgrades pretty soon once I realise that, oh, I've got money. And that will give me a slight advantage, because if we look at the army supply, if we look at the army supply, I'm actually ahead because I've got a stalker, and the stalker takes up a lot of supply. However, I also have more units in the army than him, and that will give me a definite advantage with +2. So I warp in 3 stalkers up here and begin to harass some of his probes. So if we go to units lost, he's actually beginning to now lose more than me. Bring my warp prism up because by now he'll have started to get... Yeah, he's starting to warp in a defense. So I bring the warp prism up so I can get out of there. And he doesn't do what often happens, which is... what often happens, I found, is that they just pull their stalkers back instantly. They think, oh, that attack's been denied, and bring them all the way down to defend their natural, because they think a massive counter's coming. And just as the drones return, I try and pick off a couple more, but he actually has pretty good defense against that. He's got an observer hovering there. I don't know what he can see with that. Don't know why it auto flicks onto camera. He can't see anything with that at the moment. However, I can't see the blur either, so I'll just switch back to everyone. There's his warp prism. He's seen me warp prism harassing, and he wants to give it a go himself. So he will probably pick up at some point, and then, yep, there's 2 of them, and he's gonna try and go around the natural, I think. And there's an observer. But yeah, at this point I've got an observer of my own. I haven't actually seen it, but it does get taken out pretty effectively, and we just have debris rolling down the ramp. Observer going across to take a look at what's happening, and I go in with the warp prism and instantly see that he's got a Stalker defense lined up, and as well as a couple of Zealots. And I actually see that he's got an army, and I actually see the proxy pylon, which is something to be aware of. So, and he pulls his observer back, and down goes mine. I decide to head out with these Stalkers because I know that he doesn't actually have that many, and he actually pulls them back. But I decide to go for the proxy pylon because what's more important, 3 Stalkers now, or about 20 in about 10 minutes. So, nosy in with the warp prism again at a different angle, and begin to take down a couple of pylons. Warp in some more Stalkers, so I've got a larger army. And I do something pretty stupid here, which is I take my eye off the ball, completely miss these 2 warp prisms, completely miss the Stalker Zealot army, even though I do manage to take most of it down. But he's getting way ahead in the units lost tab. I can't remember what the shortcut for units kill control are. I've killed 10 of his workers and 20 of his units, so he is way ahead in the units lost sweepstakes. I think I actually took one of his warp prisms down, but he warps in a round of his own, and I actually managed to bring back up my army. Keep a couple of drones on. I keep a couple of drones on the mineral fields just so that I'm getting a tiny bit of money. Another warp in there, because I just gate up these gateways, and he sees my immortals and just dies. Warp prism still up here. He's still got quite a few Stalkers. Got about 9 of them, whereas I have 7 there, and then another 2. So we've got exactly the same number of Stalkers. I know I just warped in 2 more somewhere, I presume. Oh, I've got 2 in the warp prism. So at the moment I'm ahead in army supply, as you can see by the nice number up there. And I think I'm also ahead in upgrades. Yes, by this point I've got 1-1 and I'm beginning 2-2. Or 2-1 at the moment. It's going to go up to 2-2. And just get another Stalker, because why not? And there's 4 Zealots, because I was beginning to run out of gas thanks to that pesky warp prism. He brings it back in, but I think I see it this time. And is this the point where I see it? Yes, I think it is possible. No, it's the point where I completely miss it. So, though strangely enough, he decided not to go for a harass at any point, which is a bit strange. Using it for scouting, which is not usually what happens. Still got 2 in the warp prism, and I begin to get an army up here. Pull it back slightly. He begins to ball his army up here, and gets a robotics bay. Presumably he wants to go Colossus at some point, but still going off 4 gateways. Personally, I'd have added on another 2 to take it up to 6 gate. Not sure quite why he's got the Stargate, presumably in case I go air, so he can go Phoenix. Or if I go Colossus, so he can go Phoenix. Well, Phoenix Void Ray. Robotics Bay in case he wants to go he's basically decided to get all the tier 1 and some tier 2 buildings, and I don't know why he's not got the Twilight Council if he's got so many Stalkers, and he's not got a forge, so he can't upgrade them, which is pretty silly on the face of it. But yes, I begin to warp in units up here. At the moment I have 1-1 warp prism up here. I know it's there. I can see it on the edge of my vision. I can see it there. So at the moment I think it's out of range. So, but I go down just to have a poke at it. And nothing's really happening much. I decide to expand because I'm beginning to run out of minerals. He's beginning to run out of minerals, and he's not expanding, which is a severe problem. So if I actually attack at this point and he tries to reinforce with anything, he won't be able to do anything apart from attempt to hold me off, and even then I've got about a minute or so to get a couple of warp-in rounds down here to prepare for a counter, and I've actually got some units lingering there in case of a counter. And I'm not sure what he's attempting to do here. His warp prism's pretty much dead anyway, and he tries to warp in down there at the third for some reason, but instead tries to come up to the main. I send in 3 sentries to tickle it to death. Not often that you see 3 sentries actually doing anything as sort of non-ticklish as that. But still gaining units. Pretty much running out of minerals, 1560. So he's got about 1,000 minerals left on those, which is barely enough for 7 stalkers, I believe. Hold on, no, 4 stalkers. So 8 stalkers he can get from this point. No, sorry, 12 because he's already got some minerals in the kitty. But I actually shuttle my warp prism home to pick up a couple of immortals, because big death ball of stalkers is a field day for immortals. However, he has 2 of his own, which I don't know. However, he's also now starting to match my composition, because we've both got 3 sentries. He's got more stalkers than me, but I've got more immortals than him. And I've got more zealots than him, most specifically chargelets. And I see that observer and I take it down. It's at this point that he's going to realise, he doesn't have many units here, and bring his army down. However, I'm on 2-2, and that immortal is going to be useless at the moment. I'm going to be on, 1-2, or 2-1, and he's going to be on 0-0. So, I'm going to start taking down these stalkers pretty easily. I'm actually gaining stalkers in the process, but if we look at the units lost tab, I'm actually increasing quite rapidly with my units killed. He's more slowly. But both of my immortals are taken out, which is a bit annoying, and I decide to start to pull my warp prism back because that's valuable. And he starts to he actually manages to defeat this attack pretty well. So if we look at units killed, 44 to 23, and army supply, I'm actually still in the lead on army supply because I've got a couple of warp-in rounds down here ready for the counter, chargelets and sentries up here in case I need to force field. I actually bring my warp prism back up, mainly because I know that all his units are down by the natural or thereabouts, and decide to go for another bit of warp prism harass. So bring my warp prism up here. I've seen all these pylons before. I forget. Oh no, I haven't. They're brand new, but I will see them eventually. And there's the big reveal. Takes down a ton of probes. 17, 18, 20. That's pretty much all of his probes that I've just killed, bar 3. And I begin to go for the pylons. And at the moment, he can't do anything. Well, if he loses many more, if he loses this army, it's GG for him. I start trying to take out these pylons so that he can't have much supply, but he's currently got, and he's currently exactly half his supply cap. He can only warp in 1 stalker and 3 sentries at the moment. So he just decides to attack move. Finally building his nexus. If I go back to everybody, I've begun to get a large army. I've still got 2 immortals out. Well, I built another level 3 armor coming. Sorry, level 2 armor coming. I've got level 3 weapons. So these stalkers and immortals, especially the immortals, I think they might actually be able to yeah, because stalkers are armoured, immortals do a crap ton of damage to them, and actually see this army and instantly get my warp prism out of there, because I know that bad things would happen. Losing 2 immortals at this stage could be critical, especially given that he has 2 of his own. But he force fields a tiny bit, but I will probably burn. Oh no, I don't. That's surprising. So he's actually at the moment ahead. We go over to units lost. He's actually losing quite a bit. I've killed a ton of his units. My immortals are just crunching through those stalkers. Kills 3 and kills 4. But if I can warp in as a ton more units, because I've actually got a stable economy. He's only just finished his Nexus. He's got 120 minerals left. He can't even get a stalker. So if I went up to his base, I could just waltz in and kill everything. He finally gets those probes mining. And there we go. He just leaves the game because he realizes I can't do anything at the moment, because I've got enough drones and money and resources for a ton more rounds. My main's pretty much mined out, but I can easily redirect those probes to my natural, which is already getting pretty well saturated. So I could have just dumped I tend to dump a third there instead of down here. I'm not sure. Well, I think it's mainly because you get quite a lot of attacks coming down here. There's not so many come down here. So attack routes are one of the things to bear in mind. But if we just go look at the units lost tab over here, 82 to 43. I've lost half of his units. However, I've obviously lost some more expensive units. If you just look at the worker kill count, 25 to 1. So I basically, I think I managed to cripple his economy early game, and he never quite recovered. And me sending in chargelets mid game chargelets pretty much finished it off. But that's about it for this time, and I will see you next time.